Let's look into the top 10 biggest moments in video game history. Number 10, the dawn of video games. Ever been curious about the pivotal moments that have shaped the course of gaming history? Let's journey back to the start. During the late 50s, an era when television was an emerging technology, a pioneering American physicist by the name of William Higginbotham made a creation that would forever transform the entertainment landscape. This marked the inception of the first ever video game, aptly named Tennis for Two. Constructed with primitive technology, it was a basic game that replicated a tennis match and where players maneuvered their digital rackets using knobs and buttons. Despite it was groundbreaking. Picture the exhilaration of those initial players, immersed in interactive entertainment for the first time. It was a game indeed, but it represented so much more. It was the inaugural spark of a revolution that would redefine the way we play, the way we engage, and the way we consume entertainment. And so, the epic of video games was initiated. Number 9, the first home console. Proceeding ahead, the evolution of video games took an impressive turn with the introduction of the first home console. Envision this, we're in 1972, and the gaming universe is on the brink of a transformative change. Welcome, the Magnavox Odyssey, the inaugural gaming console capable of being hooked up to a television. This wasn't just a paradigm shift, it was a full-blown revolution. The Odyssey, though rudimentary compared to modern standards with its tabletop unit and wired controllers, had an influence impossible to downplay. For the first time in history, video games were no longer limited to arcades or computer labs. They were a fixture in living rooms, on the family television, available to everyone at all times. This marked a tectonic shift in our gaming habits and crucially who could participate. The Magnavox Odyssey smashed through barriers, popularizing video games and paving the path for the multi-billion-dollar industry we are familiar with today. This was a landmark advancement in turning gaming into a regular household routine. Number 8, the birth of arcade gaming. Arcade gaming, a concept that became an emblem of the 80s, was originally sprouted in the 70s. Visualize this. An energetic room buzzing with the electronic drone of machines and the enthusiastic ramblings of players. This was the setting in 1972 when Pong, the first commercially triumphant arcade video game, was introduced to the world. Crafted by Alan Alcorn, Pong was an uncomplicated yet engaging game that replicated table tennis. It showcased two-dimensional graphics, and players manipulated paddles on the display, ping-ponging a tiny ball back and forth. This simplicity contributed to its accomplishment. It was a game designed for all, yet it was demanding enough to ensure players returned for more. Pong was not just a game, it was a societal experience, a congregation point, a foreteller of the digital epic that was about to unfold. Pong was a pivotal moment, both literally and symbolically paving the way for the arcade gaming revolution of the 80s. Number 7, the rise of Nintendo. From the arcades, we now shift our attention to the advent of a gaming colossus, Nintendo. It was the mid-80s, a time when the US video game industry teetered on the brink of oblivion following the notorious video game crash of 1983. However, like a lighthouse in the night, a glimmer of hope materialized from the east. The Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES for short, introduced in 1985. Nintendo, a corporation from Japan, took a risk and launched the NES into a doubtful American market. The console was an unprecedented success, reanimating an industry that many had prematurely given up on. It introduced a revitalizing approach to gaming with legendary titles like Super Mario Bros. And The Legend of Zelda, which appealed to a vast variety of players. Nintendo's insertion into the market wasn't merely a triumph, it was a paradigm shift. The inception of Nintendo into the gaming world would mold the future of gaming in ways that no one could have foresaw. Number 6, Sega versus Nintendo. The twilight years of the 1980s and the dawn of the 1990s marked an era of intense rivalry between two behemoths in the gaming industry. Sega and Nintendo, two names that would indelibly imprint themselves on the face of console history. This competition was nothing short of a war zone, with each titan battling to outshine the other in terms of innovation and gameplay. The opening salvo was fired by Sega with the launch of the Sega Genesis in 1989. This was a game-changer quite literally, boasting superior graphics and catering to a more mature gaming demographic. However, not one to rest on its laurels, Nintendo counterattacked with the introduction of the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, or SNES, in 1991. The SNES showcased a remarkable lineup of games and a more technologically advanced graphics system, breathing life into characters and settings in a manner previously unseen by gamers. This of Titans wasn't purely about outdoing each other in sales, it was about pushing the envelope, about revolutionizing the concept of a gaming console. The epic duel between Sega and Nintendo transformed the face of the gaming industry, laying the groundwork for the evolution of video games. This rivalry propelled the industry to explore the limits of what was possible in the realm of video games. Number 5. The birth of 3D gaming. The mid-90s ushered in a fresh era in the universe of games in the most literal sense. It was an epic of creation and transformation, an era when the gaming industry was on the brink of a revolution. Making its entry in 1994 was the Sony PlayStation. More than just another gaming console, the PlayStation introduced a novel element that had been unseen by gamers till then: 3D graphics. The world was no more limited to a flat plane. Characters transcended beyond being mere two-dimensional figures. The PlayStation provided a new level of engagement, a fresh approach to connect with the gaming universe. Suddenly, players could roam around extensive 3D landscapes, engage with items in a way that was unthinkable previously. Games such as Final Fantasy VII and Metal Gear Solid exemplified the true capabilities of this innovative technology, crafting immersive and intricate worlds that gamers could thoroughly immerse themselves in. 3D gaming was a stride ahead that forever altered the gaming panorama. It unfolded a universe of opportunities, paving the way for the immersive gaming experiences we savor today. Number 4. Online gaming goes mainstream. As we transitioned into the new millennium, a significant shift occurred in the world of gaming with the emergence of online gaming. This radical change was largely catalyzed by a crucial event in 2002. The advent of Xbox Live revolutionized the gaming experience by introducing online gaming to consoles and living rooms across the world. Prior to this, online gaming was primarily a niche for PC gamers, but Xbox Live democratized it and brought it into the mainstream among console gamers. It unveiled a fresh horizon where gamers could compete, collaborate, and interact with other players globally. No longer was the gaming experience restricted to the artificial intelligence or the handful of friends you could invite over. The boundaries were expanded, and now, you could take on any challenger from any part of the world at any time. Xbox Live also pioneered the idea of downloadable content, enhancing the longevity and experience of games. In essence, it was a turning point, in both the literal and metaphorical sense. The epic of online gaming was officially ushered in. Number 3. The Wii Revolution. The mid-2000s saw another game changer, this time from Nintendo. As gaming enthusiasts were getting ready for a new era of consoles, Nintendo decided to travel an unprecedented route. Instead of focusing on graphics and processing power, they chose to completely transform how we experience games. The innovation arrived with the Nintendo Wii, launched in 2006. This groundbreaking console brought motion controls to the world of gaming. The Wii Remote, a handheld device equipped with inbuilt motion sensing technology, became the epicenter of this revolution. It was a drastic shift from the conventional button-based controllers, introducing a new realm of involvement in gaming. But it wasn't just technology that was impressive. The Wii made gaming a more dynamic physical activity. It encouraged players to rise from the couch and immerse themselves in the game. From swinging a virtual tennis racket to conducting an orchestra, the Wii transformed ordinary activities into gaming adventures. The Wii introduced a novel way of playing, turning gaming into a more dynamic and inclusive experience. Number 2. The rise of mobile gaming. The period spanning the late 2000s through to the 2010s witnessed an unprecedented portability in gaming. It was the arrival of smartphones and tablets that ushered this era, slotting gaming right into our pockets and handbags, and making it accessible at any given moment, in any given place. This transition heralded a significant turning point in the sphere of gaming, and it was punctuated most prominently by the launch of a small game destined to make a big splash. Welcome to the world of Angry Birds, released in 2009. This compelling, physics-oriented game swept across the globe, demonstrating that mobile games had the potential to be as engaging and successful as their console-based counterparts. Suddenly everyone found themselves morphing into gamers. From the regular commuter to the patient in the waiting room, from those taking a lunch break to the ones procrastinating before bedtime, gaming had found its way into every crevice our day-to-day routines. But it wasn't just about Angry Birds. A whole legion of apps poured in, each contending for a piece of our screen time. Mobile gaming had simplified playing games to the mere act of pulling out your phone. Number 1. The advent of virtual reality. At last, we reach the most recent revolution in the realm of gaming: virtual reality. The gaming panorama was permanently transformed in 2020 by the introduction of the Oculus Rift. This wasn't the initial venture into virtual reality, but it was the first to genuinely enthrall audiences with its top-tier immersive experience. Picture fitting on a headset and being whisked away into a completely different universe, where your physical actions convert into movements within the game. This is the potency of virtual reality. The Oculus Rift signified a monumental stride in technological advancement, a stride that opened the doors to new possibilities for both game and gamers. It signaled the start of a new chapter, where the boundaries between reality and the digital universe are indistinct. The immersive characteristic of virtual reality gaming is unparalleled. The future of gaming has arrived, and it's more immersive than it's ever been.